go back and deal with the betrayal, ladies. We talked about it. We dealt with the betrayal of from every hand. We went through what it means to feel betrayed. I don't know if you've ever been betrayed, but if you keep living long enough, you will feel it at some point. It's not a good feeling when we go through lies and deception, deceit, all of the stuff that happens in relationships, especially broken relationships. Hi, Trina, for sharing with us on today. But when you go through betrayal, ladies, we get to a point where we just feel almost bamboozled. We feel bewitched. I'm talking about betrayal because, see, you cannot be betrayed unless you've gotten to a point of trusting, a point of confiding, a point of really being confident in the person that you're connected with, or the person that you shared information with, the person that you're yoked to. So when you go through that betrayal, you've gotten to a point where you feel like really like you're bamboozled. Like, you can't believe that you really have crossed the line, that you turned your back on me, like you crisscrossed, you went over on the other side. I thought you were my girl. I thought you were my boy. I thought we were together like this. But somehow, somewhere along the way, you betrayed me. Yeah, so we're going to talk about betrayal on today. We may have gotten betrayed by a loved one, somebody that we confided in, somebody that we trusted, somebody that we shared our nuggets with, that probably shared some real personable things with someone else that betrayed us and broke our trust. Sometimes we get betrayed by those people that are even in a church, that are up close with us in worship, that will throw a stone and hide their hand, and you have to take the fall, you had to take the rebuke, you had to take the hit because they betrayed you. They didn't tell it like it is. They did not tell exactly what happened. They threw you under the bus. Yes, they did. So we go through it as well. And also when we're dealing with our relationships, oh my goodness, relationships that have been broken, that have been ruptured, that you've given your heart to a person, you've trusted them with all of your past and the deep things of your heart. You shared intimate things with them. You shared your body with them. You shared your heart with your love with them, your compassion with them, and they betrayed you. They walked out on you, or either they broke covenant with you. They broke the relationship. They stepped out of line. They crossed over those boundaries. They went to somebody else. They violated your trust, and you feel betrayed. Those people that you trusted with everything in you, because you know that you were so connected with them and you shared some stuff with them, and now you trusted certain areas of your life with them, and then they have shared it with somebody else, so you feel a sense of betrayal. What about that girlfriend that you really thought was your girl, that was really there with you for the long haul? I mean, y'all shared secrets together, y'all laughed together, y'all did so much together. You all did so much together, and for some reason or another, you shared some intimate things with her about your partner or about your loved ones or whatever. Anybody in your personal space, you shared it with them, and they betrayed you because what they did, they turned their back on you, or they shared it with somebody else. They cut you off. They kick you to the curb, whatever it may be. We've all felt a sense of betrayal at some point. But oh my God, nobody can betray you like the person that you're yoked to, the person you're connected to, the person that you lay your head with, that you lay in bed with, the person that you just love to pieces. Can't nobody betray you like that person, because that person is the one that you give your most to. That's the one you gave your all in all to. Come on, that's the one you submitted to. That's the one you trusted with everything. And then that's when I talk about being bewitched, bamboozled, because you didn't see it coming. Because a lot of times when we confide in people and we trust them with a lot of things that we share, and then they step out of line, they get their signals crossed, and we find out some things later down the line that weren't truthful. That's the ones that hurt the most. They hurt so deeply because you put your trust there. Yeah, I know. We hear the word say, put your trust in no man. We know that to believe that, but we trust people. We do. We trust people with our hearts. We trust people with our information. We trust people with our monies. We trust people in our homes. And then there's sometimes, you trust people and you think they won't do the things that, that have been done. You think they won't deal the cards that have been dealt, but they did. And so now we got to recover from that. We got to find a way back. How do we trust again? How do you trust again? How do you love again? How do you live again after all of the hurt, all of the pain and bruises? What about the person that knows all of the stuff that you've already gone through because you shared it with them too? They know the depth, of what you've been through and the things that you have experienced. You have shared so much. Oh my goodness. They were in your amen corner. They were stroking you all the way through. They were there. They were your sounding board. And then now that person is no longer there. They shut you off. They cut you off. I told you before, they're not liking your photos anymore. They're not commenting on your stuff. You're celebrating your children and they're not there. Matter of fact, they're celebrating their children. They're not inviting you anymore. You just been cut off totally, and you feel the sense of betrayal. You feel the sense of rejection. We've dealt with it. Come on, we've dealt with it. But we're going to keep talking about it. Let's talk about betrayal on today, because there's so many of us, and I told you before, we don't burn the bridges, ladies. Don't burn the bridges, men. Leave the bridges there. Sometimes we get so fed up, we're ready to walk out. We're ready to cut the cord. We're ready, to burn the bridge. And we say, not again, not again. But you can keep your distance with people and you can say no more. You can stand your ground and stay your distance, but don't burn the bridges. You know what you do with that? You fly high. I tell you all, I told you before, I won't burn the bridge, but I would use an airplane next time. I would get in a helicopter. I would fly high because I refuse to be brought down low. Let me tell you, when you go through some betrayal, it can leave you wounded. It can leave you broken, bruised. Oh my goodness. It can leave you bitter. It can leave you bitter. Your heart can become so hardened, and look, this is the dynamic of the devices that are used against us. Want you not to love again. The devil wants you not to trust again. He wants you not to even put your hopes in anybody again. He wants you not to connect. But the key thing is not to love. But I told you before, never give your power away. Don't give anybody that much control. Don't give anybody that much power. You learn from it. You grow from it. You move forward. You understand. And guess what? You already know hindsight is always 20/20. Don't you know that? Yes. Hindsight is always 20/20. It's a lot of times you can't see it. You really didn't know it. You didn't feel it. You went through it, you came out of it, and then when you look back, you're like, what? Really? Did that just happen? What was I thinking? How did I not see? The writing was on the wall. How did I miss it? And then you really feel a sense of like, oh my God, it just had this way of making you feel so low. You feel so low. You feel so lost. You feel deceived. You question yourself. You question that's in you, that's been warning you, that's been telling you that you've been guessing and you've been second guessing and you've been thinking, no, not true, can't be. But guess what? It always full circles right back to you. Whatever is done in the darkness. How many of you already know it's gonna surely come to light? It's gonna come out. You can't continue to hide whatever it is. It's gonna come out. Now, listen, we either deal with it now or we're dealing with it later. Remember, I told you before, my thing is what? Hurt me now, don't wound me later, right? Hurt me now, don't wound me later, because if you continue to have lies on top of lies and deception, those things that are deceiving to us, that were just kind of, killing me softly. You've ever heard that term? Killing me softly. Just continue to lie, continue to be deceitful, untruthful, untrusting. not really being upfront and telling the truth about what's really going on, if there's some things that you're dealing with and you're really not being honest about it, come on, all of that causes us to fall into that web of betrayal and deception. Yeah, it causes us to fall into it. But now when you come to yourself and you understand, oh my goodness, I really went through that. I really wasn't able, because let me tell you something. Your mind began to play tricks on you and you be wondering how you didn't see it, how you didn't figure it out, how you didn't know about that. But then when you come to yourself and you come out and you look back, you remember. You begin to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Things begin to register and click. The lies that were told, you realize that, what happened. You realize what was said. And I've always told you before that and truth lies in the things that are not said. Sometimes you got to catch what you do not hear. Yeah, what you do not hear. When they're avoiding the question, when they're avoiding the answers and they're not giving you the answers that you need, sometimes, guess what? That is exactly the answer. When they make excuses and they begin to be angry because you're actually questioning. Because here's the thing. When somebody is really truthful, somebody is really honest, and somebody is really like up front, don't have anything to hide, when you're questioned, it's not irritable. It's not irritating. There's no resistance. If you're telling the truth, you're open with it. But once a person gets agitated because they're being questioned about something, they're getting upset because you're questioning them about something, that's a strong possibility that, they're not being honest. And they're being annoyed because you're asking, because they don't want to give you the real answer. And you already know the truth needs no defense. So when you tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, it needs no help. It doesn't need any defense. It stands alone. It stands alone all by itself. You can ask the same question over and over again. It won't change. It won't change. Now, when we come out of that betrayal, we dealt with the lies and the deception. We've dealt with all of that. And we really begin to think within what was really going on. Remember I told you, sometimes some stuff be going on with us, and it doesn't have to be a whole lot of brokenness too. It can be whatever state of mind you were in, whatever place. If you were too busy working and you missed it, if you had too much on your plate, you missed it. If mentally and emotionally you were broken, you missed it. If you were dealing with some weaknesses, you missed it. So it just depends on where you are, what was going on with you at the time. Sometimes we put so much focus in something else and we miss the main thing. Sometimes we just got to keep the main thing, Sometimes we have to know not to major and minor, but deal with what's before us. And a lot of times we miss it because all of our attention be drawn to something else or someone else or whatever. It can be a job. Whatever it is has taken your focus, have taken your attention, that has taken your time, and you missed it along the way. But now when you have time to just relax, come to yourself, think about it, you'll remember, and you can go back and begin to put those pieces together. In many cases, those pieces were there to connect the dots along the way. All right. So let's talk about loyalty before we get into talking about how we go back and rebuild that trust. How do we go back and rebuild that after which was broken? How do we go back and rekindle that, mend that? If not with that person, just within us, because we have to first forgive ourselves. We have to be able to take ownership of what happened, take ownership of our part in it, because sometimes, well, I'm not going to say sometimes, all the times, because there's two sides to every story. So there's an ownership for you. There's an ownership for me. Either, like I said, there's some things we didn't see because we were too busy. There's some things that we didn't see because we second guessed ourselves. Sometimes there's things that we didn't see because we were too busy dealing ourselves, we were too busy into something else ourselves as well. But we're going to talk about that even on tonight. Okay, loyalty, ladies, loyalty. I keep hearing that. We have to deal with loyalty. I told you before, we hear it all the time. We hear it all the time. And let me say that loyalty is trusting, of course, is being committed, is being faithful, it's affirming, it's staying true, it's not letting go. Loyalty is just standing strong with the person, come hell and high water, no matter what they dealing with, no matter what they've done, no matter what they've been through, you're loyal to them. Okay, now remember I said loyalty without integrity is dangerous. Ooh, it is dangerous. It is dangerous. So we have to understand where we are. Now, of course, those of us that are operating in integrity, when we're loyal to somebody, we're committed to them, right? We're committed to them no matter what's going on, no matter what we've been dealt, because in other words, if I'm your friend, I'm your friend to the end. And the only way I won't be your friend, you have to mess it up. You have to walk away. You have to cut the cord to it. Pretty much, I'm going to stay true to you. I'm going to stay in it. You all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You have to be the one to really mess it up. You have to be the one to walk away, to say, hey, look, I'm in a new season. You know how we get churchy and deep. I'm in a new season and all, so go ahead on. But for the most part, if I'm with you, I'm with you. If you're my girl all the way through. If I got you, I got you, and it's the same way, when my heart is there, my heart is all the way there. If I'm in it, I'm all the way in it. I'm not in it and out, in and out. I'm all the way in, or I'm all the way out. Ladies, are you with me? Either I'm all the way in or I'm all the way out. So there is no in-between space. There's no time for games, put up or shut up. If you say you're true, be true. If you're going to be down, be down. But if not, I understand. Maybe you're in, you're doing your own thing. Maybe you moved on. But just let's be upfront about it. Let's understand where we are. We all may not be at the same place at the same times. It just depends on where you are, what you got going on, what you're looking for. You understand? What is it that you're looking for? Because in a certain season, you may not be looking for the same thing I'm looking for. Maybe your time is not up yet of playing games, and maybe your time is not up yet of just in and out, okay, bouncing around. All of that has a lot to do with whether or not you commit to somebody or not, whether it's in a friendship, whether it's in a relationship, whatever it is. All of it has a lot to do with where you are and what's going on with you. So when I talk about loyalty, being committed, just being faithful, not throwing that person just out there, not just leaving them hanging, not regrouping and talking about them after because you're not there anymore. Now you're talking about that person. That's not being loyal, of course, right? But loyalty is staying true to that person, making sure that their best interest is at heart. Your best interest is at heart as it relates to them. If anybody say anything about them, you got their back. You're going to stand up for them. You're not going to talk about my friends in front of me. No, that's my friend. I'm going to tell you, oh, that's my boy. You ain't going to do that. That's my boy. That's my friend. You may not hear a lot of words from me, when you go there with the people that I care about and love. But, hey, if it's true, it's true. But I'm not going to condone it. I'm not going to be the one that would sit and listen and share. But we're gonna have each other's back. That's what being loyal is about, having each other's back. But here's the but. You knew the but was coming, right? You already knew. When it's a person that is not integral, I hate to keep using the word foul, Foul, foul. I use it just to let you know how deplorable it is, how despicable it is. When you have a person that is just not right, they're just not right, and you know what they're doing is wrong. How loyal will you be? How committed will you be? How faithful will you be? Will you stay entangled in that? You know, now you can still cover that person as relates to, like, look, checking them, letting them know what's going on with them, telling them it's not cool, it's not right, what's up with that, you shouldn't be doing this XYZ. But if they're not right, are you willing to go down with them? Are you willing to go down? See, because we're talking about being loyal, and we can be loyal to a person, but guess what? We have to understand how that system actually works. A lot of times I hear that if you have a family member, ooh, I'm about to get deep into the stuff. If you have a family member that you know that just isn't right, you know they're not right, and you're like, that's my girl, I don't care if she's right or wrong, I got her. But is that integrity though? Because I said it before. Listen, when you think, okay, those of you, and those of us, I include myself, want to be international, universal, worldwide with this. But those of us, let's just say that are Christians, and we understand Jesus, the way that he worked with his disciples, the fellowship that he had with them. Do you not know that he sat right there and he knew who was not loyal to him? He knew who was foul. He knew who would betray him. He knew the lies and the deception. He understood the whole thing. He knew exactly what would go down. The writing was on the wall. But he stayed through the end. He stayed all the way through the end because he already knew. He already knew how it would plan out. And what happened? What happened? He was betrayed for those persons that were committed to him, for those persons that were close to him, for those persons that was there. Now, he being Jesus. Now, I don't want to get churched on tonight, but him being who he is, don't you think he could have pulled the covers? Don't you think he could have exposed them? He could have said, instead of saying it's going to be one that will betray me, he could have said and called out who it was, but he didn't, right? He didn't call it out, but he knew that in the end, it will all unfold. It will all be exposed. That's what I'm saying. It does not continue to be covered. It's going to come out sooner or later. So the truth will surface. But those of you that are connected with anybody, I'm going to use me because I tell you all, I always use me as an example. But if I'm connected to anybody, and I know they're not operating in integrity, and I talk to them about it, and if they continue to be that way, do you think that I'm just going to just stay connected, stay there? You might say, well, hey, Mary J, you're not loyal. I don't know how to be anything but integral. I promise you, I don't know how to be anything but integral. So if you have family members that are doing something, say, and I don't want to go too extreme because it may just rub some folk the wrong way. But if you have a family member, you know uncle messed up, you know uncle was drunk, uncle went into that room and he wasn't supposed to go in that room. He went into the bed and he wasn't supposed to be there, but you know about it. But you and uncle, y'all tight. That's family. You don't turn your back on family. You don't throw family under the bus. You don't do that to family. But how loyal will you be to Unc? You know Unc wasn't right. You knew Unc had no business doing what he was doing. Are you that loyal to Unc where your integrity will really just kind of like supersede everything that you just stand for? Will you just go down with Unc and you know it's true? That's what I'm talking about. But sometimes we would stay stuck, and we would stay in that mode of wanting to make sure that we're there with that person and we're down with that person. But listen, there's nobody that you should be that down with that's going to bring you all the way down, that's going to separate you in the relationship that you have with your God for whatever it is that they're doing. So you have to be better than that. You have to be bigger than that. You can't allow people to keep you in that space. You can't allow people to keep you there. Now, there's some of us that have been betrayed so many times. There's some of us who people have not been loyal to at all. We've been through and through. We've been broken and broken. The person that you thought would be in your corner, they walked away. The person you trusted, they turned their back. The person that you thought was truthful, they lied to you. And you begin to see the writing on the wall. And now you put up these barriers. And you have these barriers up there, and the ones that you thought would be there with you are no longer there. The ones that you thought would hang there and be in your corner have walked away. So now you don't want to trust anybody. Now they have some really good people that is really trying to come in your space. They're really trying to get in your corner. They're trying to hold you up. And you're not even trusting them. There's somebody that have come to you that really want to love you just for you. They know you've been through some brokenness. They know you've been down. Matter of fact, they know you've been low down. They know you've been rock bottom. But they love you, and they want to love you through your pain, through your past, and they're there for you. They're solid with you. But you're so hard, you're so guarded that you don't even give them the time of day. You don't even trust them because you've been through so much that you've just decided not to even let anybody in. So you got to begin to let go of all of that. Let go of the betrayal. Let go of the brokenness. Let go of the bitterness. Because if you stay bitter, you stay at that place where you're so broken, you'll never love again. You'll be so busy trying to hold on to that thing, what somebody else has done, what somebody else has been to you. You'll be holding on to that, and you will treat everybody, every new person that come into your life the exact same way. You'll treat them the exact same way. Oh my goodness, if I can tell you the stuff that I've been through, oh my God, you will wonder, why do I trust? Why do I love? Why do I even care? I don't know if it's just me, but I'm telling you, I do it because, for one, I love me. For two, I know what I deserve. And I refuse to let the enemy keep me bound. I refuse to let him keep me stuck. And what happens is when you don't release that stuff and you don't let that stuff go, that betrayal and all of that hurt, that bitterness, that brokenness, if you hold on to that, you're going to age. You're going to have ailments. You're going to have bitterness. You're going to have resentment. There's going to be some trust issues. You're going to have some serious issues going on with you, with people that you love and people that you're close to. So you have to learn how to let go of that. And I've learned how to let it go. I've learned how not to hold on because I understand that the tactics and the devices are there so you can stay stuck, so you can stay bound, so you won't move forward. And there's so much inside of you. There's so much more that you have to offer. There's so much more that you have to share and give. Oh my God, there's a life that you have to live that you haven't lived yet. You have not lived yet. And it's waiting on you to break free. It's waiting on you to release that so you can live the full you, so you can be the total you. And the total you is the person that is full of joy, that is full of peace, that is full of happiness, that understands who you are and all the treasure that is in you, the gift that you have and all that you have to give. So you refuse to let anybody keep you and stop you and block you from being the total you. That's how you let it go. When you let it go, you can breathe again. Oh my God, when you let it go, you can live again. When you let it go, you can love again. No matter how many times you've been broken, no matter how many times you've been betrayed, no matter how many times that you have been stuck, you learn to move forward. You forgive and you move on. You let go. You learn from your mistakes. You take ownership of whatever it is, that whatever part you played, whether you, and listen, we play a part even when we don't know. Even your ignorance, even not knowing, that was a part that was played. Even in your ignorance, we're destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Not that we don't have it, it's because we reject it. So even if you say, well, I didn't know, or I didn't see that, or how could that happen, or I didn't know that happened, or I didn't know that I did that, that's your part that you played. Of even not knowing, not being aware, not paying attention, not being there, not hearing, not seeing, not understanding, not being patient, not slowing down, not taking time out. All of that, whatever it is, there's two sides to everything. So it can't just be one-sided, because if you listen to the other person's story, they'll have a lot to say about it as well. So when we're talking about loyalty, I cringe at it. I'm sorry. I am loyal. I am committed. I am faithful. But when it comes to somebody just not being right, I can't stay loyal to that. I can't stay committed to that. I can't stay faithful to that. I'm talking about you totally out of order. You totally left field. You're being exposed. I can't stay connected to that. I will tell you, I'm going to unfollow if you keep this up. I'm not attracted to drama. I don't like drama. Some people post a lot of stuff that is very dramatic because they like attention. They like that kind of conflict on their pages. And I don't want to be a part of that. I'm not going to deal with that. I'm going to love you though. I'm going to be here for you. Remember that helicopter. I'm in my helicopter coming across your bridge. We're going to be good, but I'm not going to, Sometimes, posting all of the stuff to, throwing shade. That person, I don't even care if you don't know them personally. If you're throwing shade based on something that you've seen on their page and you want to throw shade, just call them, inbox them, tell them, let them know. You don't have to throw that, because then now the person is feeling some kind of way because they know you're talking about them, because they just posted that, and then your post came right behind that, and it's an explanation on what they said. That's just childish. I don't have time, guys. Y'all, you hear what I'm saying, ladies? We have to understand where we are, and we have to understand not to major in minor stuff. You don't have to give a whole explanation on something that you shared just to let everybody else know why you shared it. If guess what? You shared it because you wanted to share it. It's your business. It's what you wanted to say. It's what you wanted to do. You don't have to give all of that. You don't have to give all of that. So let's not deal with all of that, and let's stay true to us and who we are, and stay committed to what we have to do. Stay committed to the things that are purposeful to us, to help us move forward, to help us get better, to be stronger and wiser. Let's stay committed to that. So when we're talking about betrayal, okay, understand where you were, understand what you went through, understand why you went through it, change it, learn from it, grow from it, move forward, do things differently, be a little wiser, be a little slower, and don't be so eager to just jump into something so quickly. Don't be so eager to let things go so quickly. And go back and deal with step by step. If you have to confront it. I always say confront, because you cannot conquer what you do not confront. Even if even if you try to confront and that person don't want to talk about it, they don't want to hear it, they're not going to deal with it, you've done your part. You release them, you let them go, you love them, you forgive them, you move forward, and you keep moving from that point. So now, ladies, listen, I told you all we weren't going to be on here too much longer on tonight. Last week, we were like 2 hours, I believe, and you ladies, you stayed right there with me. Thank you so much for staying with me on Matters of the Heart. I appreciate you a great deal. But tonight I'm going to open it up for questions for those of you that might have some questions on tonight. If you have some questions, let's deal with that on tonight. We're going to deal with the questions on tonight, and we can talk and jab in just a few minutes. Those of you have any questions tonight, ladies? You have any questions about loyalty, betrayal, deception? Okay, even if you don't have any questions about that, if you have any other questions, any other questions? Any other questions? Hope says, I've been praying for this. What is that you've been praying for? Be specific. What is that you've been praying for, Hope? Let me, or have you been praying as it relates to the discussion topic on betrayal? What is it specifically? Because I said we were going to share a little bit more tonight. We're going to talk about it a little more on tonight, ladies. Those of you that have your questions, this is our Q&A moment. This is our Q&A moment. When we're dealing with betrayal, we're dealing with lies and deception. Isn't that something? Well, let me say this, Hope. I hear you. You're saying someone has used you just recently. My Bishop Noel Jones, and I think you guys heard me say this before, he said that if you are not useful, you cannot be used. You can only use what is useful. So, if you were not useful, you could not be used. And I'm going to say that, and I'm going to tell you. You said you've been used recently. Somebody betrayed you, somebody used you, somebody violated your trust. If you were not a person that they thought that had any substance, anything that they can pull from, anything that they can draw from, anything that they can take from, because a lot of times our feelings get hurt, but guess what? God is using us in the midst of it. He's using us right in the moment of it. Learn from that. Whatever it is that you felt that they used you with, whatever it is that they took from you, whatever it is that they took you for granted, and most of the times that's what happens. We're taken for granted. But you were useful. Think about that. You were useful. That's not a cliche. You were useful. You can't use anybody that's not useful. You can't use anybody that does not have any substance. So you were only able to be used because you were useful. I've been used. I've been abused. Girl, I could sing the song like Vicki Winans. I've been talked about, lied on, cheated, mistreated. All of that. Used. You talk about used. Used on top of used. You know? And a lot of times when you're gifted, when you're talented, when you have a compassionate heart, when you're a giver, people try to take advantage of that. They take you for granted. But see, what they really don't know is that because of who you are, you freely give. You freely give. You would have given more. You know, you would have given even more had you stayed around long enough. And sometimes the Lord would allow it to happen sooner, just so you can see, just so you'll know, so you can get out of that. I have been in a relationship for 12 years. After coming out a bad relationship, I feel safe staying out. You feel safe staying out of relationships because of what? I totally. Okay. So you've been in a relationship for 12 years, Joanne. And after coming out of a relationship, you feel safe staying out of it. Okay. Okay. Now, 12 years is a long time. Let me say that. 12 years is a long time to be in a relationship. And I know we have people that be in relationships way longer for many, 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 many years. So if you're out of the relationship after 12 years, of course there have been some brokenness, there have been some betrayal, must have, for you to be out of a 12-year relationship. And you feel safer staying out. Now that's the thing that I'm concerned with. The word safer. Safer. Sometimes we put up barriers and boundaries when we've been broken, when we've been betrayed, when we've been hurt. And when we come out of a relationship now, it's never a good thing to get right back into a relationship when you come out. That's when the brokenness starts up again. That's when the betrayal comes up again, because you're not healed. You haven't really taken time out to just revisit the situation, to understand what really happened and to deal with it, where you'll be a little bit more stronger, wiser, to be able to stand. But when you say you feel safe not being in one, now we got some issues, because now you're going to put yourself in a place of isolation. You're going to and now understand this. Everybody does not want to be in a relationship, but I'm saying the word safe is what got my attention. So don't put up those barriers and those guards based on the 12-year relationship you had with that person. That person, if you go back and listen to Suitable Companionship 1 and 2, that person may not have been the right suit for you. May not have been the right suit for you. So there may be someone else along the way that is more suitable for you. And listen, the relationship that you've come out of, just learn from it, grow from it, but don't let anybody box you in. Don't let anybody put you in a position where you no longer feel love, you no longer want to trust, and you feel safe being by yourself, because that is not a good place, especially if you don't desire that. If you desire to be in a relationship, wait on the right person, meet people, get a lot of information, talk to them, get to know them, spend some time of being friends and getting to know who they are, know where they're coming from. It's an interview, just like you would go to interview for anything, any job, whatever job. You're not just gonna go on somebody's job and you don't know, you don't have a clue of what you're being hired to do. You don't know what they want from you. You don't know what you can bring to the table. You just go in. So it's an interview. You interview and you find somebody that is suitable for you. You come across that person and then you take it from there. But the word safe is what I'm concerned with when you say I feel safe staying out of relationship. The word safe. I understand that we go through. I understand that our trust is broken. I understand that we're hurt. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay? Let's talk about that. Think about what happened in that relationship first of all. That's the first thing. What happened? I'm not asking you for the answers. I'm saying that's what you think about. What happened? When you think about what happened, think about why it happened. What could have been done differently? Okay? And don't allow whatever happened in that relationship, whatever that person did, hold you hostage for the rest of your life, that you no longer want a relationship with anybody because you don't feel safe in it. Girl, if I can tell you the stuff that I've experienced, and I still want to love. I still want to be in a relationship. Am I in one right now? I'm not in one right now because I understand that I need this time for me. You're welcome. You're welcome. But yeah, I am concerned with the word safe. The word safe concerns me. That's not your only place of safety. You can be safe being by yourself, but you can also be safe in a happy, healthy, whole relationship as well. Yeah. You learn from it, grow from it. Anybody else? Any more questions tonight? Any more questions tonight? Oh, y'all don't have any questions tonight, or am I not seeing your questions? Let's scroll up. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody. Okay, that's the only questions. I don't want to miss anybody tonight. Okay. Is that it, ladies? All right, I told you we won't be on here too late tonight. We're gonna deal with intercourse on next week. Hopefully, it'll be us ladies in the room on next week to deal with it. Because it's gonna be a little bit more personable on next week. We're gonna deal with it. Yeah, we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there. We gotta talk about it. And I don't want to even see it. If I start talking, I'm going to get all into the next week's subject. We'll see. But we're dealing with betrayal. For those of us that have been betrayed, those of us that have gone through betrayal of any form, know that in order to be betrayed, you had to have trusted. In order for you to trust, you had to have given that trust to someone that you're close to. Maybe it can be a girlfriend, a relationship you trusted. You trusted someone with personal information. You trusted with someone with your personal space. You've trusted someone with things that are valuable to you, whether it's your heart, your love, your body, whatever it is. Your information, the treasures of your heart, you trust it. And if you've done that and you have been betrayed, you have had the feeling of being bamboozled. I've been there. I felt like, what just happened? Yeah, it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. But listen, when you know better, you do better. You don't share everything with everybody. And I told you ladies before, particularly our personal, intimate details of our relationship is not to be shared with anyone. That's not your girlfriend. You're not like that, to be sharing all of that. No. But even in relationships with male, our boyfriends, husbands, whatever, that have betrayed us, you've given them trust. You've given them your heart. You've given them the intimate treasures of your life, and they betrayed you. They've broken some things, some trust issues, some boundaries. But you learn to let go. You learn to forgive. You learn to move forward. Forgiving doesn't mean that you have to continue to stay. Does not mean that. It just is wherever you want to be. Because I remember when I told somebody that I forgave them, they thought that meant that I was staying in a relationship. But no, I forgave and I moved on. I forgave and I let go. So you can forgive and you can continue to move forward. But then the next go around, be a little smarter, be a little wiser. Understand where you are. Understand what you're dealing with, and don't deal the same way. To keep doing the same thing over and over, over and over, that's insanity. You don't keep doing the same thing over and over, getting the same results, especially when you want different results and you keep doing the same thing. Yeah, you're not going to deal like that. Okay? So ladies, be wiser, be smarter. Forgive, let go. Don't hold on to bitterness. Don't hold on to it, because it's only going to make you age. It's going to make you depressed. It's going to bring you down. It's going to make you bitter and ugly and resentful. Don't do that. You're too pretty for that, okay? Nobody should have that much control over you. Nobody should have that much authority over you. I tell you all the time, do not give your power away. You give it away to the person that has mistreated you. You give it away to the person that has bruised you or broken you when you hold on to resentment, unforgiveness, bitterness. Okay? Let it go. Release it. Do it for you. Not so much for the other person, but do it for you first. When you do it for you and you become free, you'll realize that it feels so much better to let it go than to hold on to it. All right? Okay, ladies, I'll catch you all on next week. I want to make sure that I didn't miss anybody. Questions, no questions tonight. Ooh, y'all had plenty questions last week. Plenty. All right, that's it. I don't see any more. All right, you all, you've connected with Matters of the Heart on tonight. I hope you were inspired, and I hope you were empowered on tonight, that you were able to share. We're going to get through this betrayal. We're going to overcome every obstacle. We're going to be able to, go forward and move forward, and the things that we know that we desire. Don't stay stuck just because you've been broken, just because you've been wounded, because you've been betrayed. You can move forward. You can reach higher. You can love all the way through it. Okay? I'll connect with you all on next week for Matters of the Heart, Monday nights, up close and personal. Can't wait to join you all next week.